Hey Fiber friends, it's Michelle back already with another Stashdown episode. I wanted to jump on here, probably pretty short one this time since I just sent one out, but I'm not going to be able to post this one until probably tomorrow morning because apparently I don't have enough YouTube clout at this point to upload more than one video a day. I don't know if that's something that you have to get to a certain number of whatever. I don't know. But every other time I've tried to upload something, a second thing, I have to wait till the next day. So in our haste to get out of here in the morning on our road trip to Washington to take Will to college, hopefully I can remember that I have to upload this video. Anyway, I have some updates. I have some clarifications on this Stashdown-A-Long, so I wanted to jump on here. I posted information about this on my Instagram for Stashdown, which is Stashdown PC on Instagram. So if you are on Instagram and you're a subscriber, or if you're not a subscriber, please like and subscribe. I would love it if you also joined on Instagram. That is the best place for us to do these Stashdown-Longs and keep track of everybody, where we can post pictures and watch, see progress. So I had a poll out there as well. I could only do like a short video and tack on like a sticker basically, and it only had 2 choices, not 3 if I did the poll on YouTube, as far as I could tell. So I went ahead and did it on Instagram yesterday, and I posted the 3 projects for the Stashdown-A-Long that I had been considering. One was the Cable Trellis Shawl by Stephen West. 2 was the Witching Hour by, oh my god, it's in my Insta. I am losing it. Anyway, it's the one that has all of the raven skulls on the yoke, and the Witching Hour. And then the 3rd project being the Aurora Cabin Shawl by Stephen West. And gotta be honest, I started the Cable Trellis Shawl yesterday, and I'm actually loving it. It didn't take me long at all to figure out that I had left the little I don't know, marker thing on the correct row from the very last time I did this, which was God knows how long ago. And so right away I figured out where I was, and the stitch count was right and everything. So I've just been rocking and rolling on that since last night. So I'm pulling this thing back out again. I'm not hating it. I'm not hating on it. I'm coming to terms with the little brown section at the bottom. I think I was about here before, or so, somewhere in there, and I've gotten almost half a diamond since yesterday, since last evening. So I think this is what I'm going with. I think we're a little over 50% on the poll for this one anyway. I was kind of trying to encourage people to vote for this one if they were going to vote. I appreciate everyone who voted, all 4 of you, and then I voted with my own personal account from my other Instagram for this one. So that's what I'm going with, unless in the next 24 hours there's some kind of, actually it has to be less than 24 hours because this one's getting packed and going on the road trip with us. So unless, there's this overwhelming number of votes, which this video isn't going to be encouraging because this one won't be up on YouTube and see the light of day until tomorrow after we've hit the road. So I will have already left with the Cable Trellis Shawl as one of my road trip projects. So I won't be taking the other one along just in case or anything like that. So hopefully people are going to get votes in between now and the time I leave in the morning, or the time that all of my stuff is packed later this evening, or that's the one that's going. And there has to be some pretty compelling and convincing lobbying for Aurora Cabin Shawl. I will finish that one. It's beautiful. I love it. I don't know. I've made friends with the Cable Trellis Shawl again. I think it's just my will to finish the darn thing. I also wanted to share, I showed the 2 bobbins on the last episode that I had been spinning. It was the other alternate spin that I was doing on Maleficent, my sparrow. I got that all applied up and skeined up yesterday. Is it focusing? Oh my goodness. this is really, I'm very pleased with how it turned out. Now I have to wash it. I think I've been loving on it a little bit since yesterday, because it looks a little, I don't know, it needs to be a little, oh, I guess it looks okay on there. I thought it was looking a little dull, like I'd been really like squishing it like an old teddy bear. But one thing that I love about at least the Polworth silk base from Three Waters Farm Fibers is it's got a nice sheepy smell. I noticed that about the Quilter's Magic, which is the same base. I do love how this turned out. I think I got a good twist on it this time. I think I'm not overplied, I'm not underplied. I think it's great. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but I love it. I gotta wash it. So after this, I'm gonna go soak it and squeeze her out and hang it. And then it'll probably just be hanging. I'm gonna have to ask Tom to like gently take it off the hanger and lay it down here in my fiber studio on the table so that when I get back, it's not still just hanging. Because that's a long time to sit there and hang, I guess. Anyway, Scottish landscape. Take another gander at that. Lovely goodness. The other thing, I have to get back to the Stashdown-A-Long because I just sort of interrupted myself. But one thing that I didn't do yesterday, which is when I can get to editing things, this is the kind of thing I need to do. It's like I was all about talking my, running my mouth about my test knit, and I didn't say anything more about it. Like I think I maybe mentioned some of the things about it previously when I was lamenting that I was being a monogamous knitter and I hadn't, I was dying to do other things and yada yada, and I explained the construction was a bottom up and everything. That is the Foxy Lady tee. Version 2 is the stripe version. Version 1 is using all one color. It is by This Bird Knits, and just a lovely, 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 lovely pattern. And I am on bobbin number 2, well, bobbin A of braid number 2 of the Quilter's Magic fiber. This stuff that will become Foxy Lady tee number 2. Oh my God, my brain is half on vacation already, and I'm not even done working today. I'm playing hooky again for just a little bit, just to put this video out. Yes, so that's going to be a version 1, even though it's going to be multiple colors. I think it's going to be really cool. I'm really excited to see that stitch pattern on that color changing goodness. And I think that the Polworth silk is going to look really nice, even though it is a 2-ply yarn versus the singles that the original was made out of. That was knit out of Foxy Lady singles fingering weight from the Farmer's Daughter Fibers. The 3 colorways, let me remember. The brown is called Rock Bronc. I think I posted this on Instagram. The variegated is called Stackhouse something. Gosh, look on Instagram. And then the orange solid stripe is Salmonberry. See, here we go. Editing, I could just write I'd be like, it's this, since you can't remember in the moment. So, This Bird Knits, Foxy Lady tee. Check it out. It is on Ravelry. And it's a great knit. I really enjoyed it. And so much so that I'm dedicating a spin to it. That tells you something. The stitch pattern is just really, it's nice. It's not, I mean, it's definitely a socialize and knit kind of a thing. It's not super complicated, but it looks complicated. I think it looks like teeny tiny bobbles all in a row, and every other, like in all of those rows, all the stripes. That's what it looks like to me. It's not really at all, but it kind of has that, to me it looks like itty bitty 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 bobbles. I like it. So yeah, I'm in hyper traveling tomorrow on a cool road trip with my kids. Kind of a distracted brain right now. So I don't think I said this I don't think I said this at the beginning of this episode, but we're just going to go with it and say that I'm doing it on Instagram. I think I mentioned before, I'm not super savvy with that kind of thing on Ravelry. I don't think we have enough of a, I know I have 25 of you right now subscribed here on YouTube. I don't have that many of you on Instagram. I would love it if you jumped over. If you are on Instagram, if you please join us on Instagram if you haven't already. That is just the easiest place for all of us to post. If you can post, if you're picking and you're doing a Stashdown-A-Long project, take a picture of where you're starting and any number of progress pictures along the way if you'd like, and then your finished object. Right now I think I'm gonna go with just the end of the year and it's not a contest. We're just kind of trying to do it. Try to get your languishing UFO finished by the end of the year. I don't know how many people are starting with like if I had that sweater that was just like this much of that sweater, if I wasn't doing a whole lot of anything else, then I probably could get that done long before the end of the year. But I have a whole bunch of gift knitting that I'm supposed to be doing. A bunch of hats. I blabbed and told everybody, pick out your favorite National Parks hat from the Nancy Bates book, and that's your Christmas present this year. So I got my work cut out for me. Plus the 4 Washington State hats from her upcoming United States book for my 3 kids. I call my son's girlfriend one of my kids, and my daughter's boyfriend also one of my kids. So the 4 of us are getting the Washington hat. I talked about that last time. It's got the little Sasquatch. I did get the yarn caked up. That one's going on the trip. And then I have another cowl gift knit that I'm doing for a friend. So I have a lot of gift knits, and so I'm not going to say, oh, we're going to have, this Stashdown-A-Long is going to end of September or end of October, because I myself am going to be working on multiple things. And I also want to finish my cotton linen rainbow gradient tee that I can't remember if I showed that at any point, but I'll show it when it's done. It's really pretty and it's a really cool yarn, and I've got yarn for one more, and then that same kind of yarn for another tee that I'd like to do. Stashdown? That's going to be the thing. Like, I'm just going to do that every time I talk about acquisitions, which I'm looking at acquisitions right across the room over here on the, I probably will get up and show them to you. Actually, I should have brought them over here. I mentioned, I think briefly, sheepishly, that I succumbed to the ooey gooey Rhinebeck sweater for Andrea Mowry because it's so freaking cute. I mean, have you seen this thing? It's so cute. I'm not going to Rhinebeck this year. I went last year. I didn't do her sweater last year. I did the cowl. We did our own pretty boxes. I'm sure I talked about that in another episode. So I did 2 Rhinebeck projects last year going to Rhinebeck. Not that you have to go to Rhinebeck to do the Rhinebeck sweater, of anyone's Rhinebeck sweater, but anyone, including Andrea Mowry. But she puts it out. She could do a swatch and be like, I knit this with the Kivyet, and you have to spend $500 on a half an ounce for this Kivyet. This is my project. I would be like, yes, Andrea, where do I get the Kivyet? I swear. But no, it is super duper cute. I loved, I have pretty boxes in my head, which was the sweater I did. Her Rhinebeck from last year. I loved it in a cowl, not so much in the sweater. This one I love. I love it. It is just, it's darling. And it just, the spin cycle, I'm afflicted with that. And the spin cycle dye on the wool, it's just like it's made for stuff like, for that kind of it's made for lots of things, but it's so freaking cool. I love it. So I'm gonna get up 1 second. I'm gonna get my colors that I got in this. Just get one of the main and both of the spin cycle, because spin cycle. I mean, these are pretty close. I actually did remote or virtual shopping with them because, you know, when you look on their website, if you have, they have, I mean, they're beautifully displayed colorways. And they always have a pile of them, like a pile of like 6 skeins. And you can tell the ones that are super multicolor, or even the ones that are just like one color family, like pinks and purples, for example. You can tell that they just look, oh, they look beautiful when they're all, the hanks are just kind of sitting like this. Well, like this. And then there's usually like 2 and then one like a little pyramid. And then it'll show like, it all knotted up. You could like scan through and see like versions of that colorway. And this kind of thing, like Spin Cycle, like Feederbrook, etc. You know, they can both be called Evil Eye. This is Nocturne, by the way. This is on their gray base, which is just, oh, I love their Nocturne colorways. Same weight basically as Dyed in the Wool sport weight, but moody. These are, so I did the virtual shopping with them because the colors of the Recollect, actually I used Recollect instead of Spinster's Daughter from Farmer's Daughter Fiber, because Spinster's Daughter, I just said it. Spinster's Daughter. I didn't find the colorway that I wanted to go with. I mean, I found one that I could have, if I had like 2nd or 3rd or 4th choice of the Spin Cycle, because I really wanted to go with a Nocturne colorway. And this particular color is called J Rankin, and it's in, I think it's only in the Recollect base. It's really hard to read on here. On the website, I ordered it from Farmer's Daughter Fibers. Listen, you need to focus on the yarn and not on the face. And it does here too. It reads kind of on the purple side. It kind of is purple family, but it's like almost like a interesting, I mean, it's mauve-y, I think, but it also, it's like one of those things where it's like, is it taupey? If you put it up against the tan of this, which you can't tell by the camera where the camera is, but it's, I think it's good. When I first saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, in the pictures that I saw on the Spin Cycle website, I swore that there were little purpley sort of ish, like right there. And so I didn't want to have too much muddiness and like grab like an orange or a blue, because I figured that would, this also would have gone with a nice like medium CG green, because there's not too much of that in there, but there is enough. But there's not that much of that little purple, and so I was worried, because I'm like, oh, I got like a purplish shade coming. But then this showed up, and I think it's gonna be okay. I think it's gonna look really good. I do. I think it's gonna look really good. Because this is just, it's not like screaming in your face, I'm mauve or I'm in the purple family, but it is. And it just, I think it's gonna look, I think this will be a good color combo. So. And I think I'm gonna cake some of this up and take this to play with on the trip. So, and then fiber optics yarns. Let me talk about this a little bit more, because I just could go on the road for fiber optics yarn. They're just freaking beautiful. And much like, wow, words are hard today. Words are hard. Much like Three Waters Farm, they'll post a colorway on Instagram that I'm just like, I have to, take me to your yarn later. And this one, honestly, there's more white in this than I feel like there was on the Instagram picture, which kind of always disappoints me. There's just like this big giant chunk of white. But this, they have like these, I don't even know if I looked this word up, but it's called cock wobble, which is just funny anyway. But I think it's some kind of a political term. And they have, I forget the one that I have from before, and I tried to find it yesterday to see how similar they were. It's definitely another multicolor, but it's another funny political term. And I love fiber optics yarn because they're also being, you know, they're rebel scum like me. So they're just kind of thumbing their nose and putting these colorways out. And I was going to just say, F it, I'm going to get all of them. Because I'm a rebel. I'm part of the resistance. But I don't even, yeah, like I don't need to do that. But I couldn't resist cock wobble. Cock wobble. And I have to figure out what that means. It's probably not as exciting as it sounds. But it's so pretty, right? My gosh. What are you going to do with it, Michelle? The answer is, I don't frickin' know. I have to stop that. I have to stop that. I have to put a child through school as much as I can. I'm hoping some. Anyway, gotta pay the mortgage on this joint. Gotta stop buying frickin' yarn because it's called cock wobble. That's stupid. This isn't stupid though. Kyle, ooey gooey, the ooey gooey sweater. Are you making it? If you're making it, are you going to Rhinebeck? Or are you just like me where you're like, no, I'm just making the sweater. I'll be there in spirit. It's really just another excuse to buy something that only takes two spin cycle skeins. I hope so. Because this has got to do the yoke and the cuffs of the sleeves. I don't know if I trust. But as I interrupted myself yet again. Like some of the Nocturne Evil Eye was much more heavily like the lighter gray blue. That would have had to been a different color. So I did the whole virtual shopping thing so I could see and tell her which skeins I wanted because, you know, I was looking at the website, she wasn't, but I was like, well, if you're looking at the website, I want some that look more like, and so I would look at that and look at what they had, and definitely was a good thing because I could have chanced like getting all of this yarn and having it be the total wrong color if I just ordered 2 skeins of one of their crazy colorways because they can vary so much. They can almost look like, if you take one extreme to the other on these colorways, they can just look like I showed you for the cable trellis shawl. One of them has a lot of that brown in there, and then the other one was you know, definitely more like pinks and purples and greens and like lots of different fun colors, but not so much of the heavy on the yellow, heavy on the like. It's coming out. I'm starting to like it. I'm trying to just embrace that color brown, sort of a ruddy, rusty, browny color. Stop thinking about it as like a baby poop color. That was not very nice. Anyway, circling back around. So we're on Instagram for the Stashdown-A-Long, and the hashtag is Stashdown-A-Long 2025. Yeah. So Instagram is StashdownPC for podcast because apparently I did not make up the word stash down and somebody already had it on Instagram, so I had to go with StashdownPC for the podcast. So yeah, if you're on Insta and you follow this crazy thing called Stashdown on YouTube here, please jump on over and follow me on Instagram there and take part in the Stashdown-A-Long. Grab your most in jail problem child. Know you got to finish it. Now you have our support, all of us who are mine in particular, of course, but anybody else who's doing this Stashdown-A-Long, let's encourage each other. I really want this to be a thing. So jump on board and let's eliminate some stash by eliminating a languishing UFO in your stash, because that counts. The next, I have some ideas, and I'm also soliciting you, my subscribers, and other viewers. And if you're a viewer and not a subscriber, I just still encourage you, like and subscribe. Makes me feel good when my numbers go up. It just does. This is all just very self-indulgent, isn't it? Just talking to no one in the room, just myself on a screen, to people on YouTube. No, just like and subscribe, and join us for the Stashdown-A-Long. I feel like my ideas for the next Stashdown-A-Long would be, and maybe this is me, so if this is me being me-centric and my stash-centric, but there's probably more of us than just me that have kits. You bought a kit, you don't have to choose from 3. If you bought a kit and you haven't used it and it's been sitting in there and you're like, it's not even caked up yet, it's just been sitting in there since COVID, then I think the next Stashdown-A-Long at the beginning of the year is going to be grab a kit. Now, it can be a curated kit that, you know, say you bought from Stephen West, from Stephen and Penelope during COVID. I might actually be able to do a poll for that category. Or it could just be like you bought a sweater quantity for X sweater and you just haven't done it yet. I have some of those too, but I think I have some ideas about, I don't know, I actually have a lot of choices of quick kits from Stephen West, because I'm a crazy person. But yeah, I think that's going to be probably the next category once we finish the first Languishing UFO Stashdown-A-Long 2026, or at least the first one in 2026. I think it's going to be Stash Down a Kit, because that takes a good chunk of just yarn that's been sitting in there. So I didn't really buy, it was a kit that was supposed to be, I think it's back actually today, or it will be in the shop at Spin Cycle. It was the Wishbone color combination of the night shift shawl. Let's not talk about how many night shift shawls I already have yarn for. But I just, these colors were just, they spoke to me. And it just sat there saying, you know, coming soon, coming soon, coming soon, because it had been sold out. And finally I just went, are all of these individual colors available? Can I just build this myself? And they were, so I bought it. So that would count as a kit. I actually think I'm gonna cake that one up tonight and take that on the trip too. For funsies. I mean, now that I'm going to be one of 4 drivers on just like a multi-day, I mean, most of these days are gonna be a minimum of 8-9 hours driving. So, and then on the way back, there's just 2 of us, but still, it's all the way back again. And then it's it's from Washington down to Colorado. There's gonna be a lot of driving and a lot of knitting in the car. So yeah, I need to start some hats, but I can be full on polyamorous. It's just gift knitting, and Christmas isn't until December. So, ooh, got lots of time. So yeah, I got my Stashdown-A-Long project. Got at least a swatch for Ooey Gooey, and I may bring that night shift yarn, and then all my hats that I'm doing, and my rainbows, my rainbow tee. I wonder if any of my kids want to drive more, so that I could drive less. I don't know. Mom's got to knit. We'll see. Yeah, maybe I'll post a few reels on the trip. Here's Mom knitting at Glacier National Park. Here's Mom knitting at someplace in Seattle. Here's Mom knitting in Montana at the Airbnb in a rocking chair out on the porch. I don't know. I think we'll see. Anyway, I'm getting a little loopy because as the day moves on, I'm closer and closer to my 2-week vacation. So if you want to know why I'm so crazy and distracted, more so than usual right now, that's it. That's my brain approaching, oh yeah, we're about to be on vacation. So anyway, by the time you see this, I will be on vacation, probably belting out show tunes in the car with my kids and just getting on the road and having a blast. So I probably won't film another one of these until mid-August. I mean, you waited between number 4 and number 5. I know, maybe that was sad, but I'd like to think. Anyway, now you have 2, plus the little mystery bonus episode. If you're interested in that, that's up already. That's why I couldn't post this until tomorrow. So check that out if you're interested in that content. And if not, that's okay too. But I can tell you, if you like this Michelle, there's gonna be a lot more where that came from. on the bonus episodes that are not really related to Stash Down, but sitting here on my Stash Down podcast, my Stash Down YouTube channel. So I'm only gonna get weirder here, so we better just stop at a half hour. It's probably longer than I originally was intending to do this anyway. Hashtag Stashdown-A-Long 2025 on Instagram. Give me your pre-pictures. Give me your pictures along the way. Give me your finished object pictures. Let's give each other encouragement to stash down via a languishing UFO. Get out there and get your fiber on.